Good morning, students. Welcome to Political Science online class. So, students, in the previous video and online class, we were discussed the 11 power and functions of Election Commission of India. So, today we are going to discussing the another last two power and functions of Election Commission of India, and also we are going to discussing the another one concept, that is electoral reforms. There are three type of electoral reforms are there. So first of all, we are going to discussing the 12th power and functions of Election Commission of India. So 12th one is, so ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಅವಧಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 11 ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗದ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಳಿದಂತಹ ಎರಡು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸುಧಾರಣೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರು ಪ್ರಕಾರದ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸುಧಾರಣೆಗಳು ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ 12th one is, as per the Representation of People Act 1951, the Election Commission of India is conduct the process of election. So this is one of the basic power and functions of Election Commission of India. So there is a one act is there. The act is only for representators. Representators mean those who elect in the election. So the candidates are called as representators. So they are participate in the governance system, in the different type of governance. It may be a central government, it may be a state government, or it may be a local governments, whatever there. So whatever those who elect in the election, so that candidate is called as representative. For the representative, there is a special act in constitution. That act is called as Representation of People Act 1950-51. So according to this act, the Election Commission of India conduct the process of election. So it is the basic work of the Election Commission of India. So election mean, or election system mean, it is one of the heavy process. There are so many procedures are there. For example, the candidates are contest the election, the candidates are give the nomination along with so many details as well as the scrutiny is there, as well as the candidates or the political parties conduct the different type of canvas system, as well as the every candidate and every political parties has their own manifestos, as well as election date, election process is there, election result date is there. So therefore these are all the heavy process of election. These all process is conducted by the Election Commission of India. Understood what I say? According to the Representation of People's Act 1950-51, according to this act, the Election Commission of India is conducts the all process of election system. So this is the 12th one. So 12ನೇ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ Representation of People's Act 1950-51 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿ ಕಾಯ್ದೆ. ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯಾದ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ರಿಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಅವರಿಗಾಗಿಯೇ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದೊಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ Representation of People Act 1950-51. So it was enforced in 1950-51. Therefore it is called Representation of People's Act 1950-51. So according to this act, ಸೊ ಈ ಕಾಯ್ದೆಯ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೈಗೊಳ್ಳುವ ಅಥವಾ ನಡೆಸುವ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಯಾರಿಗಿರ್ತೈತಿಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗಕ್ಕಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ 12th ಒನ್. ಇದು 12ನೇದು. ನಾವು ದ 13th ಒನ್ ಈಸ್, or the last power and functions of Election Commission of India, that is, the Election Commission is grants resignation to the political parties as a national parties and regional parties. So this is the another one important work of Election Commission of India. So the Election Commission of India give the grants to resignations to the political parties or grant resignation anumati ante ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. So grant resignation to the political parties. In the political parties there are two type of political parties. Number one is national parties, second one is regional parties. Some parties are called as national parties and some political parties are called as regional parties. For example, Congress, BJP, Samajwadi Party, Aam Aadmi Party. So these parties are called as national parties. Next, regional party. There are a number of regional parties are there. For example, JDS as well as BJD, JDU, DMK, etc. etc. Some other parties are called as regional parties. So in the political parties there are two types. One is national party, second one is regional party. Which one is the national party or which one is regional party? It is this one is granted by or recognized by the Election Commission of India. Understood what I say? Which one is a national party, which one is a regional party? It is recognized by Election Commission of India. So there is a one formula is there. So first one is national party. Which party is 6% of casted valid votes in the 4 or more than 4 states in a Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha election, or minimum 2% of Lok Sabha seats in 3 seats. If the any political party gain it, so that then that is recognized as a national party. Again I will repeat, national party mean which party compulsorily take the 6% of valid votes, 6% of valid votes. So whatever the total vote is there, according to that the 6% of valid votes in 4 or more than 4 states in Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha election. Understood? 6% of valid votes in 4 states or more than 4 states in Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha election, or minimum 2% of Lok Sabha seats, not vote, seats in 3 states. So that is recognized as the national party. So next one is the regional parties. Regional parties mean the 6% of valid votes in Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha seats, elections. Understood? 6% of valid votes in Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha election, or second one is the 3% seats, total Vidhan Sabha seats in the total seats. So that is called the regional parties. So when this is about the national parties and regional parties. So ಏನೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಅದರ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷ, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷ, ರೀಜನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷ. ಯಾವ ಪಕ್ಷ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅನುಮತಿ ಕೊಡುವ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? So the national parties and regional parties, so this resignation is recognized, is given by the Election Commission of India. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಅನುಮತಿ ಕೊಡುವ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಇನ್ನು ಯಾವ ಪಕ್ಷವನ್ನು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷವಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೋ, ಯಾವ ಪಕ್ಷವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರೀತಾರೋ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದನೇದಾಗಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಈ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷವನ್ನು ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಂದ್ರೆ ಒಟ್ಟು 6% ವೋಟನ್ನು ಯಾವ 4 ಅಥವಾ 4ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಅಥವಾ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಕ್ಷ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತಿಳಿತ್ರಿ, 6% ವೋಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು 4 ಅಥವಾ 4ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಮತ್ತು ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಥವಾ 2% ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಅಥವಾ 2% ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಸೀಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು 3 ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪಕ್ಷದ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ರಾಜ್ಯದೊಳಗಿರಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 3ರಿಂದ 4 ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಸೇ? ಸೊ the party compulsorily have a scope in 3 or more than 3 states, then only it is recognized as a national party. ಸೊ ಎರಡನೇದು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷವನ್ನು ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 6% ವೋಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ, 6% ವೋಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಥವಾ 3% ಸೀಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಮೀನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, and national party it mean it has a scope in 3 or more than 3 states, so then only it is recognized as the national party and regional party recognized by the election commission of India. So it is one of the important work of election commission of India. So dear student, these are all the power and functions of election commission of India. It is very important for 5 marks question, and the question is explain or describe the power and functions of election commission of India. So this question is for 5 marks question, and sometime this question is asked to 10 marks also. So the question is explain the composition, power and functions of election commission of India. So this is also one question for 10 marks. So dear students, now we are briefly discussed about the power and functions of election commission of India, and also now we are going to discussing the another one concept in the second chapter, that is the electoral reforms. Electoral reforms mean election reforms, ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸುಧಾರಣೆಗಳು ಅಂತೆ. ಸೊ ಕುछ ಬದಲಾವ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿಪ್ಪ, ಸೊ electoral reforms mean before the 1990s, so it mean 1950 to 1990s, in between. So our election system have so many mistakes, as well as there are so many mistakes are there, as well as in the election system there is corruption is very common. In our election system the corruption is very common, so that corruption is conducted by the political parties as well as the candidates also. So therefore the election commission of India tried to reforms in election system. So therefore there are 3 type of reforms are there. Number 1 is EPIC, EPIC, this is first one, EPIC, EPIC mean electors photo identity card. E mean electors, P mean photo, I mean identity, C mean card, electors photo identity card. So this is the first reforms of election. Second one is EVM, EVM mean electronic voting machine. E mean electronic, V mean voting, M for machine, EVM, electronic voting machine. So this is the second reform of election commission of India. Third one is mandatory disclosure of the candidates. So those who want to contest the election, that candidate compulsorily disclosed some informations. three informations are there. Number one is the criminal background, second one is educational qualification, and third one is property information. So this is the another one, reforms of election. So there are the three type of election reforms are there, that is called electoral reforms. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರಲ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸುಧಾರಣೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವ್ರಿ ನಾವು. 1990ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1950ರಿಂದ 1990ರವರೆಗೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಒಳಗ ಅನೇಕ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಏನಾಗಿದ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳಿದ್ದು ರೀ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗ 3 ಸುಧಾರಣೆಗಳನ್ನ ತಂದಿದ್ರಿ. ಒಂದನೇದೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಪಿಕ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಎರಡನೇದ EVM ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಮೂರನೇದಾಗಿ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಕಡ್ಡಾಯ ಘೋಷಣೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಡ್ 3 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್. 3 ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯನ್ನು ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿರಬೇಕು. ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಈಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್, ಅಪರಾಧದ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಎರಡನೇದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯನ್ನು ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಮೂರನೇದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಸ್ತಿಯ ವಿವರಗಳನ್ನು ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಲ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸುಧಾರಣೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಧ್ಯಯನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಎಪಿಕ್. ಎಪಿಕ್ ಮೀನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಾರ್ಡ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ it mean, so before the 1990s, those who the voter of the country, he does not have any type of identity card. So the epic is introduced by the first time in India or independent India. The epic is introduced by the chief election commissioner. The name is T.N. Session. So to conduct the free and fair election, especially in 1993, at the time the T.N. Session was the chief commissioner of Election Commission of India. So that T.N. Session was introduced the epic in the first time in India. The only purpose of he wanted to conduct the free and fair elections. So he wanted to remove the evil practices. So already I was told you, before 1990s in our election method there are so many evil practices are there. Very importantly, majorly the corruption is very common in our election system. So therefore he wanted to avoid the corruption and he tried to conduct the free and fair election. So therefore the T.N. Session tried to enforce or introduce the electors photo identity card. So epic was introduced in India in 1993. So in the first time in 1993 the epic was introduced. Understood what I say? The first electoral reforms is epic. Epic mean electors photo identity card. So this epic is introduced by the Chief Commissioner of Election Commission of India, T.N. Session. Understood? He was the chief commissioners during the time of 1993. So he tried to conduct the free and fair elections. So therefore he introduced the epic, because the very important thing is he tried to avoid the evil practices, because before the 1990s in our election method there are so many evil practices are in our election system. He tried to avoid the all type of evil practices, especially the corruption. So therefore the TN session was introduced the EPIC in India in 1993. When the TN session was introduced the EPIC in 1993, instantly it was difficult to issue the identity card to all voters due to some technical problems, because India is, already I was told you, India is one of the biggest democracy in the world, and the Indian democracy have a number of voters. Now present the 80 crore voters are there. So instantly it was difficult to issue the EPIC card to all voters, because there are so many technical problems are there. So therefore during the time of TN session, it was not possible to distribute or issue the identity card. So after the period of TN session, and next the MS Gill was appointed as a Chief Commissioner of Election Commission of India. Understood what I say? After the TN session period or the term, the MS Gill was appointed as a Chief Commissioner of Election Commission of India. So during the term of MS Gill, so he tried to, and also he possession of EPIC by the voters was made compulsory. He made the EPIC was compulsory. It means, so during the time of voting, the every voters should be have the voting card. It is compulsory, made by MS Gill. He was the election commission of, he was the Chief Commissioner of Election Commission of India. So it was issued by the election commission to all eligible voters. So during the time of MS Gill, so during the period of MS Gill, he was distributed or issued the EPIC to all eligible voters in India, and the EPIC is consist the brief information about the voters. Understood what I say? The EPIC is have a brief information about the voters, like age, name, photo, gender, address, constituency, date of issue, etc., etc. These all information registered in the EPIC or electoral photo identity card. So therefore it is helpful to the election officers. Understood what I say? Again I will repeat you. During the time of MS Gill, he is made a compulsory EPIC, compulsory to the EPIC. It means the every voter should be have the EPIC as well. EPIC mean election photo identity card. So it is issued by the election commission to all eligible voters, as well as the very important one is EPIC is consist the information about the voters. So this card is consist the complete information about the voters, like age of the voter and name of the voter, the photo of the voter, gender of the voter, address of the voter, constituency of the voter, date of the issues of the card, etc., etc. So everything is consist in the EPIC. So this is about the first information or the first reform of election, that is the electoral photo identity card. Shortly it is called as EPIC. ಸೊ ಏನಿಗಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸುಧಾರಣೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸುಧಾರಣೆ ಏನು ಬರ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮತದಾರರ ಗುರುತಿನ ಚೀಟಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವ್ರಿ ನಾವು. ಮತದಾರರ ಗುರುತಿನ ಚೀಟಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಒಳಗದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಪಿಕ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಲ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. 1993 ಒಳಗೆ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರವನ್ನು ಹೋಗಲಾಡಿಸುವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನೊಳಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಥಮ ಬಾರಿಗೆ TN ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಗಿನ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಯುಕ್ತರು ಜಾರಿಗೆ ತಂದರು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಏನಾಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಯಾಗ ವಿತರಿಸೋಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗಳಿದ್ವು. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮತದಾರರನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದೇಶ. ಒಮ್ಮೆಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅದನ್ನು ವಿತರಿಸೋದು ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ 2003 ಸಂದರ್ಭದೊಳಗೆ ಆಗಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯುಕ್ತರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ MS ಗಿಲ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮತದಾರರ ಗುರುತಿನ ಚೀಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಅರ್ಹ ಮತದಾರರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಗುರುತಿನ ಚೀಟಿಯನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಮತದಾರರ ಗುರುತಿನ ಚೀಟಿಯನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಲಾಯಿತು ಅಥವಾ ವಿತರಿಸಲಾಯಿತು. ಈ ಒಂದು ಗುರುತಿನ ಚೀಟಿಯ ವಿಶೇಷತೆ ಏನಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಆ ಒಂದು ಮತದಾರರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ವಿವರವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ವೋಟರ್ಸ್. ಏನಿಗಿರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತದಾರರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತದಾರನ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮತದಾರನ ಹೆಸರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮತದಾರನ ಫೋಟೋ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮತದಾರನ ಲಿಂಗ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮತದಾರನ ಒಂದು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಒಂದು ವಿವರ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಅನ್ನೋದ, ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಡನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ವಿತರಿಸಲಾಯಿತು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲದರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಎಪಿಕ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಡ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಳಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಎಪಿಕ್. ನಾವು ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ two another information or two another reforms of election is there, that is EVM, and second one is the mandatory disclosure of the candidates. So these two reforms we will briefly studying the next period.